Hey, what's up, house groups? I hope you're having a great week so far. This last Sunday, it was so awesome. Like, baptisms, they're so cool. I love the chance to just hear everybody's story. I love that we do the videos and just see how God is moving so powerfully through people, and just to have them share that and declare that work and faith that he's doing. It's just so cool to see. It's so much fun. And then I thought Mike's message was powerful too, just as we continued our Image of the Invisible series. And it went really well with Baptism Sunday, because we basically just broke down the gospel message in a way that I think it both introduced it to someone who's maybe never heard it before, but also reminded those of us who have been following Jesus for any length of time just how easy it is to kind of veer off course, so to speak. And the real simple breakdown is this: Jesus plus nothing equals everything. Jesus, the firstborn, which I love this explanation of the original language and the meaning of that word firstborn, because it has nothing to do with chronology and everything to do with supremacy. Jesus, the creator of everything, Lord over everything, the one holding everything together from a grand cosmic scale to the smallest molecular scale. That God, he lived, died, and rose again so that we could have a relationship with him. It's almost so crazy, it seems too good to be true. Yeah, but what's the catch? And it becomes so easy for us to add to Jesus's words and convince ourselves that we must have to do more to really earn forgiveness. To earn a relationship with God, we must have to be good enough or act good enough or check all the boxes that we can, and then he'll accept us. And I know this isn't rocket science, and we all know that that isn't true, and that Jesus' love, grace, forgiveness, and mercy is a free gift that we can't do anything to earn. I know we all know that. You're smart people, but I don't know about you. It doesn't really take much for me to start adding to it. Jesus plus nothing equals everything. But I've been following Jesus for a little over 10 years and went to seminary and pastor for a living, and I still veer. It's not hard to do, because we live in a broken world. Our culture functions contractually. It's hard to accept a relationship without fine print. The danger in doing that, though, is when we do that, we're minimizing God. We're shrinking him down into a little box, and we create our own little set of rules of salvation for God to play by. And then beyond that, we end up kicking God off the seat of the throne of our lives and just take over that seat ourselves. I don't know that we'd ever necessarily use those words for it. It's not something that we try to do intentionally, but I think essentially that's what we're doing. Instead of submitting our lives to the God of the universe, we play by our own rules, which is why it's so important, like Mike talked about, to regularly recalibrate ourselves. To regularly get in the Word and remind yourself who God is. To regularly pray and ask God to center your heart and your desires on him. And to surround yourself with people who are going to point you towards Jesus. Jesus plus nothing equals everything. We don't have to add to the gospel. It is finished, done, complete, forever, but it's so easy to veer and to start adding to it. And so tonight, I want to end by kind of repeating Mike's challenge from Sunday and just see where you're at. To encourage you to keep going if you've already started this week, or maybe to remind you to start again. But he challenged us for 50 days to spend 30 seconds a day reading Colossians 1:15-20 as a way to recalibrate. To realign our hearts, to remind us that we don't have to bring anything to the table except for surrender. I've said this a lot the last few weeks at house groups, but our walks with God have less to do with what we do and everything to do with who he is. And so there it is, 50 days. If you miss a day, just pick up where you left off on the next day and keep going. Maybe you're oh, well, Jeff, I've already got my reading plan and I spend 3 hours a day in the Word. That's awesome. Kudos to you. Let this be your warm-up then. Let's all take this challenge together. Because what's the worst that can happen? You spend 25 minutes reading your Bible over 50 days. But think about what's the best that could happen? Maybe we break down our tendency to make God into our own likeness, which allows him to do the transformative work of making us into his likeness. And like Mike said on Sunday, the more of Jesus that comes alive in us, the less we'll trample the God image in the people around us or allow them to trample it in us. And the more abundantly we'll be able to live with the joy and meaning, beauty and purpose that he dreamed us up and breathed life into our nostrils to have. And the more that we'll be able to experience his shalom, like his complete peace, nothing missing and nothing broken.